What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Dolphins Daily, your daily dose of Dolphins content with your boy, Chris Kane. Let's talk Dolphins. We are very much in the offseason right now. We're talking about OTAs. We're talking about, where people are going to be on depth charts. We haven't really started talking about fantasy football yet because we haven't set rosters. That hasn't stopped ESPN from talking about fantasy football, and so we're going to as well because it affects us. So ESPN has a 12-person parliament of sports writers and ESPN expert level fantasy football thinkers, and they have, as of now, mock drafted Devon Achane as a top 10 pick, number 7th overall, which is crazy. That's like, I think in my league, he went late second, maybe early third round last year. So for him to be top 7 means that first round pick could even skip as high as 6. The order, like the people in the 6 above him, are Bijan, of course, Jameer Gibbs, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Ashton Genty, and then Saquon. Now I don't know about the Ashton Genty pick. I think he has all the he's gonna get every opportunity to be good. No one thinks the Raiders' offensive line is good, and they don't have a quarterback. Not like that. And Geno's a passing threat more than like I don't know what I'm surprised by the Genty pick because rookies can come in and be super impactful, but that's if they have a great offensive line and a great offense. I don't think the Raiders' offense will be great next year. I think they'll be okay. So I think Devon at 7 actually might be kind of an undersell. I think you can easily put him at 6 above Ashton Genty easily and be comfortable. And in fact, if I have the 6th pick in my draft and I see Ashton Genty and I see Devon Achane, don't even worry about me. I'm going Devon, baby, all day because I don't believe Genty is going to get as many passes as he wants to get. I think they're going to use him as more of a workhorse. I think they're going to work the middle of the field with Brock Bowers, hit the edges. Geno is obviously pretty mobile himself too. I think Devon Achane is going to be on his journey. I said 1,200 yards rushing. That was what I projected, and people said that's too much. I don't think it is. I think with the increased offensive line, Tua playing, better threats on the outside, you can't key in on Devon. So I think 1,200 yards rushing, and I think at least 500 yards receiving, maybe even pushing toward that 750, 800 mark. I think he can totally get 2,000 total yards next year, 12 to 15 touchdowns. I'm predicting big time production, big time from Devon next year. So I am all in. I think Genty is going to be 11, 1,200 yard rusher, 6 to 8 touchdowns, a couple hundred yards receiving. Awesome season. Like worthy of running back 1 in most cases. Maybe high end running back 2 if you're like the number 1 pick in like an 8-person league and you wrap back around. Well, in that case, it'd be 8-9. Never mind. I can see him being a running back 2, like really high end 2 or like low end 1. I think Devon has a chance to end the season right up there with Bijan and Jameer Gibbs. Jameer splits time. I had Jameer last year in my league. Fantastic player. Let me tell you, every week with Jameer, awesome. Never had Bijan on my team, but they're going to be more of a passing threat now because they got Penix, and Penix wants to sling that pill. So I think Bijan will be receiving a little bit more next year than he did this past year because Kirk, I don't know what he was doing for 3 quarters of the season, just making money basically. But I think Devon can be right there behind those guys. I do not think Saquon would duplicate what he did last year. I think last year was an aberration in terms of just one being absolute healthy for every game and getting a ton of carries. How many giant runs did Saquon have last year? I mean, my goodness, his first run in the playoffs just took off. It's like at some point he's going to have games where he's not breaking 80, 90-yard runs. Same thing with Derrick Henry, who had a bunch of those last year as well. In fact, last year at the end of the season, Devon finished 5th amongst running backs behind Bijan, Jameer, Saquon, and Derrick Henry, who were the 4 best running backs last year. So me saying that he's going to make even a bigger leap with better offensive line and his quarterback back, I don't think that's a crazy reach at all. I'm looking forward to having Devon. I hope I can draft him. I hope I can draft him. Give me the 6th pick and let Genty be sitting there. Skip. I'm going right to Devon. Now, Miami does have some regular issues. Like cornerback has been something we talked about ad nauseum, right? Still waiting on the Rasul Douglas situation. We still have not resolved the Jalen Ramsey situation. So we have avoided corner. We've picked up a number of players. They're all kind of vying for position. The question is, does kind of an unsung player have a pathway to making it to the field, right? So Isaiah Johnson is built exactly like BJ Adams is. They're both 6'3", they're both 205 pounds. We got BJ because we thought he could emerge. He's got good physicality, good size, and the idea in this defense is that when you have length and size at the cornerback position, you change the math a little bit. Like passes that seem like, oh, he's beat. When I stretch that arm out, I'm not beat anymore. And in fact, when you're a tall corner, sometimes you even play into that a little bit, where you let the receiver get past you a little bit to bait a pass, and then you break on it. The number of times I've seen Jalen Ramsey over the years be step and a half behind, that ball goes in the air, and him just nosedive in there, get that long extension out, and somehow get a pick or bat the ball down. And it's like, he came out of nowhere. He didn't. He's 6'2". He was always there. It's just when you have long arms and you have a big frame, you can do more. Now, you're typically not as great in terms of the like little technical routes where some people are running like maybe like a quick comeback or like a smash route where it's like put the foot in the ground, break. DBs that are that long typically aren't amazing at that. They're probably pretty good at coming up and making tackles. Isaiah Johnson is in a situation where he was on the team last year, didn't get a lot of burn, but I think his mentality is in the right place. He talked about kind of what the DB room is like for Miami right now and where his mentality is going to this upcoming season. So he says, at the end of the day, you got here because of your own motivation, not anybody else. It's one of those things where you can't make it this far unless you're pushing yourself to be the best. For the room right now, everybody's just trying to earn their stripes, trying to get on the field and play ball. Yeah, I love that. And that seems like what it is. There's been no word outside of Cater of anybody being like, oh, this person's for sure in the spot or they've emerged to be the best. It's we're putting in some good reps. Jalen Waddle came out a couple days ago saying, hey, these guys are playing hard at DB. I know there's unknown people and lesser names, but they're playing hard. That just means that the overall intensity is right. He didn't say any particular person like, hey, that guy, Dave should be our starter, which is good because everybody feels like I could play. And as long as everybody thinks they can play, they should be giving their best effort. Y'all know, I've said it many times on this channel, the reason I'm such a big fan of one-year contracts, like going into my off-season, final year contract people, is because it promotes just competition. It makes you have to give your best because if you don't, you will not play or you may not get a job again. I'm totally cool with how, for the most part, what we're doing with all these free agents. 1 year, show me something. You show me something, more money could be on the table. You don't show me something, well, I'll commit it to you for a year. I'm totally fine with that, especially if someone has upside they haven't like bought into. Part of the issue with Cam Smith is that Cam signed like a multi-year contract when we first got him, because otherwise he would have been probably cut last year, and he might very well get cut this year. But the idea that, well, he's still under contract and he's still kind of cheap and he's not really hurting our cap and our money, we just kind of keep, come on, Cam, maybe this is your year. But if you knew I'm 24, 25, I've been on 6 practice squads, my money's not right, I haven't got money yet, I got 1 year shot to get on the field, even as a slot corner. I'm cornerback 3. Just can I get on the field and just give it something? That drive, I love that. I love the fact that it's a crowded room. Somebody's got to stand out. And if Isaiah, he has the physicality, 6'3", 205, he has the frame. It doesn't mean he can't put on even more weight. He can end up being 210, 212 at 6'3". Listen, man, that's more than prototypical size. That's elite size. And he talks about being physical at the line, talks about disrupting routes. Yeah, that's what we need. Because if our secondary overall is not going to be graded as the highest in the world, that means that we need more time for our defensive line to get to the quarterback. So if our secondary is bumping these receivers, knocking them off the route, kind of riding that hip pocket a little bit, and they're in good phase, and the D-line can make a move, make a stunt, do a couple more things on the D-line, and actually get to the quarterback because you held up enough for them to do their job, we're cooking. We're cooking with gas. I don't need you to be Darrelle Revis. He's in the Hall of Fame. I need you to just not get burnt off the line. I need you not to just run down off the first move and get double moved to death and then just have a 50 burger over your shoulder. As long as you're not doing that, if you're doing your job, you're coming up making tackles, at the very least you're holding the receiver or running back in place until the linebackers and people can like flow over. If you're doing all that stuff, we're in a good place. And I like his mentality. I don't know where he is on the pecking order. I don't think he knows where he is right now. But he seems like he's trying to position himself to be successful, which I like. Now, one of the things that we talked about a lot on this channel is injuries because the Dolphins have been unreasonably injury prone over the last 4 or 5 years, especially on the D-line, quarterback, running back, receiver, O-line. I mean, really just been kind of everywhere, right? Jaelan Phillips is one of them. Bradley Chubb's another one where our two prized defensive end outside linebackers have both been out. Jaelan Phillips has dealt with just unreasonable amounts of injuries. I mean, from Miami to now, like Miami University to now. And he's thought about quitting. He's came back. He always sounds like he has such a good resolve about what he's going through. So anytime he talks about where his mentality is, what he's doing to get back, I love to listen to it because I think he's a good inspiration for kids. I think he's a good inspiration for anybody. Because how many times could you get derailed in your dream before you say, "This is probably not for me"? And maybe he should stop. I'm not saying he should, but there are people who are like, "Hey man, how many times can you come back?" But if you think it's still there, you still got the drive to do it, dude, go for it. And one of the luxuries of having a team that's really injury prone is that you have guys who've gone through a lot of the same injuries you have, and you can lean on them for advice, right? So he talks about how him and Bradley Chubb have a great communication about it because Bradley Chubb himself has been injured a lot. He says, I think we both played a big role for each other, just in the sense of being there for each other during these times. Obviously, he's someone who's dealt with several injuries in the past, but ACL specific questions I do ask him a lot of because he's done 3 ACLs. I ask him about different things, and he'll kind of give me feedback and tell me how I'm looking and stuff. Same thing. It's like some good reassurance that I'm in a good place. That's awesome. Also, on both parts, really, because when you have an injury that's a 7, 8, 9 year long injury, there's days when you're just like, not worth it. Don't want to do it. Don't want to get up and go get back on that chair and do those knee extensions. I don't want to have a physical therapist come and move my body. I just don't want to do it. I want to just stay home. I want to gain weight. That's one thing we don't talk about a lot when you have those lower body injuries. You're not able to condition yourself the way you normally would be able to. So gaining weight is such an easy thing to happen. And as a football player, basketball player, baseball, whatever sport you choose, that's like something you have to work your way back from. So you can't even get to just the injury being healthy again. Your body could fall out of whack where, oh, now I'm 20 pounds heavier than I was last time I played. I got to get strength in my knee or my Achilles or what have you and lose this 20 pounds and then try to get prepped and strong for the upcoming season. It's a lot of stuff that happens. It's the reason why a lot of people don't come back from injuries well. And the ones that do, like the Adrian Petersons, where he tore his ACL and they came back and had 2,100 yards, it's crazy. Because it's like the amount of work you have to put in to even get back to normal is crazy. But to do better than you did before, and that's what Jaelan is. He's in the last year of a contract. Jalen's not coming in to just say, I played 16 games. He's here to say, hey, came back from the injury, played better than I played before, give me future money. Because if he comes back and he's ineffective, even if he plays all the games, he's not going to get the money. Because people might say, oh, you lost a step. You lost some of that juice when you got injured the second or third time. So yes, you're on the field, you will get a contract. Somebody will sign you. If you're 6'5", 260 pounds, somebody will sign you. But if you come out there and you ball this year, that's when you get paid. So I'm really rooting for Jaelan. I've said that many times. I'm a fan. I love his mentality, and I like the fact that Chubb is in his corner, like coaching him through it. And hopefully, we don't have to talk about him being injured again. We can start talking about contract extensions because that would be exciting. But as always, guys, thank you for tuning in to Dolphins Daily. We appreciate the love and support. Thank y'all for the likes, subscribes. You guys are running it up. We're almost at 1.5 thousand subs, which is crazy to me. Thank y'all for all the support. We'll see you next time on Dolphins Daily. Peace.